Ding, 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 ding.
Outlaws, Guardians, and Dredgens. Buckle up, it's time for part 2. So today we're going to talk about the more half-full look at Destiny. What's been identified by Luke Smith, their producer, and the team at Bungie, and how small fry like myself see themselves in the Destiny-verse in year 4. Okay, so this week at Bungie, Guardian Games is getting ready to come to the finish line, and I'll talk more about Guardian Games a little later. But before we dive into our weekly update, here's a word from Luke Smith about a topic on everyone's mind, and that's Eververse. We talked about this yesterday, that we're going to discuss microtransactions a bit. And then it reads, "Hey everyone. This week's update is going to look at some of the changes coming to Destiny 2's rewards. As you know, rewards for your character come from a variety of places. Playlists, where you find random people to play with, aspirational activities like raids, trials, dungeons, where you form a fire team, and even Eververse, where you sling some silver or bright dust. Really, that's cash or a lot of work. Back at us for items you want. However, in today's Destiny 2, the balance of the game rewards is not where we want it to be. To be blunt, there isn't enough pursuit out in the world. We're going to fix it. Let's get to it. So going towards year 4, they're going to be changing Vanity and Accessory. Basically your ships, your ghosts, and your sparrows. They're going to be adding a transmogrification feature to Destiny 2. If you have ever played games like Diablo 3, you're probably pretty familiar with this. This will allow players to turn their armor into universal ornaments. They plan to allow players to do this with in-game effort or silver. So, again, you're going to be able to open your wallet for a shortcut, but remember, it's not a gameplay advantage. And this feature is in early development, isn't expected sometime during year 4. Well, hopefully it's not something that waits till the very, very end, because I think this would fall into the whole false promises category of things that they're hyping up and not doing anything about. Each season, they're going to deliver an aspirational pursuit for armor. We haven't done this consistently in Destiny 2. No, they sure have not. This armor will come from activities, not the Season Pass or Eververse. That's a good change. As an example, we removed the Eververse armor from Season 11 and itemized it into an aspirational activity because this is the right thing to do for the game. Yes, it is. We are improving the rewards for aspirational activities, raids, trials, and dungeons. Going forward, aspirational activities will reward players with power, items, and vanity. When we build an aspirational activity, it will have at least one accessory to pursue. The team is working on adept weapons for Trials of Osiris. For those of you who've been dealing with trials, you know why that's a good thing. Because the loot needs to feel like it matters, and adept weapons were kind of the big deal with Destiny 1, with Trials of Osiris. So it's good to see them working on this. Trials will get new armor, aka not reprisal, accessories, and weapons in Season 13. Trials will get new armor every year. That's a big deal. Destiny's next raid will have brand new armor, weapons, and exotic accessories to pursue as well. No spoilers. I think we all know what's coming with that. Beginning in Season 12, we will no longer be selling ships, ghost shells, sparrows, or armor ornaments in Eververse that are not visually based on theme, that are visually based on themes from aspirational activities. We are not planning on changing existing items, as that is time we could be spending on itemizing the future. Okay, we talked about this in the video yesterday, that it's kind of a big deal that we get our cosmetics from the activities that are relevant to them. Not, if you're going to be opening your wallets and spending some money, it should be for something that's of its own unique design, not something that fits within the realm of the specific activities or universe things you're doing. Yeah, whatever seasonal content you're playing with. And core playlist reward changes Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. We are adding a new set of armor for the core playlist at Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. This armor shares a set of new geometry with decals and shaders specific to the activity. So basically it's not a reskin of existing armor like they've been doing a lot in the past. They will create new sets like this each year. Year 4, Year 5, Year 6, etc. See how long they're planning this game out? For those of you who still think a Destiny 3 is coming, this set will arrive alongside the next expansion. Thumbs up on that one. Starting in Season 12, we are adding a new pursuit weapon with each season. It'd be nice if it was for each activity. This weapon can be earned by playing your preferred core playlist, so that's not so bad. This weapon will have activity-specific legendary skins that can be unlocked in each playlist. That's actually pretty fucking cool. We will no longer be selling new legendary weapon ornaments in Eververse. Cool. Dust and Engrams. We are making it easier for you to earn bright dust. We will be moving away from character-specific ways to earn bright dust and more towards account-specific paths. This change is geared towards giving one character players significantly more bright dust than they earn today. That's also excellent. We're updating the bright engram to be more relevant than it is today. The earned bright engram in the season pass will be updated to include various Year 3 Eververse items previously sold for silver and bright dust, and going forward, that bright engram will update each season to include Eververse items from 3+ seasons prior. So, if you weren't able to afford or open your wallet for anything that was out this year, stay patient, stay cool. That stuff's going to be in the engrams when the next expansion hits. That's great news. So, on behalf of all of us at Bungie, we hope you and yours are safe and well. We know you could be doing anything with your free time, and so many of you are spending it in our worlds. Thanks and stay safe. See you soon, Luke Smith. That's really, really cool. Okay, nearing the finish line. We're talking about Guardian games here. You know it, I know it. The Titans have taken a stand owning the Guardian games since day 2 of the event. Yeah, Hunters won the first one. They've held strong against the book-reading warlocks, and they laugh in the face of the fashion-centric hunters like myself. After years of taking a back seat and avoiding the spotlight, Titans are showing off their light brighter than they were ever before. So, for certain people out there who think Bungie only plays Titans, Luke Smith just admitted to being a hunter main. The more I think about this, the less surprised I am. Going into the event, I knew Titans would show up, maybe not to this extent, but Titans have always had a way of being there when you need them to be. Day in, day out, Titans are standing strong in the face of darkness to protect the citizens of the last city. Even if I was hoping for more hunter wins, I can't help but acknowledge the unrelenting strength here. Good stuff, Titans. You deserve it a bit more credit than folks give you. But do we, though? Do we, though? Again, we'll save that for another video. We still have a few days left of the event, all contributing 2 points to daily standings. Warlocks, Hunters, these are your last chances to make a statement. Will you swap placements before the end of the games, or have you embraced your second and third place standings, respectively? Let's see what you got. Now let's look at the rest of this week's topics. Guardian's Heart is coming to a close, and we have a final list of Bungie bounty targets for you to hunt in support of charity, as well as a forecast for the final Iron Banner for this season. I don't want to talk about Iron Banner right now. Just know it's fun to mess around with in a little bit. But Guardian's Heart update final week. This is the emblem that you can earn if you help donate or work on these bounties. The Guardian's Heart charity initiative entered its final week. If you've been following along, we hit our 700,000 goal last week. $700,000. That's almost $1 million, yo. Knowing this community, though, we aren't even close to done yet. And at the time of this writing, this article, you've already helped raise another $50,000 to help those impacted by COVID-19. We still have a slew of Bungie bounties to place on the heads of our community in support of this charity event. Here's who you'll be looking for the next few days. You got Fammy at 1 a.m. on PC in Australia. It's May 8th. That was, pretty sure that was yesterday. Benji and Polar Bear was yesterday. Kind of Funny and What's Good Games was yesterday. Zoe's today, 5 a.m. PC UK time. I think it's already passed. And on the 11th, that is Monday, it will be Jarv and Houndish at 10 a.m. on Xbox UK time. So the Guardian's Heart initiative ends at 10 a.m. Pacific on May 12th, 2020. That'll be during the reset for next week. If you would like to support this charity initiative and receive the Guardian's Heart emblem, please donate $20 or more to the Tiltify page before this deadline. I'll make sure the link is in the description of this video. Again, thank you to everyone who's donated thus far. I don't think any of us could have imagined a pandemic like this in our lifetime. To see Guardians coming together once again to support those in need warms our hearts. Thank you. So that's pretty much it from Luke Smith. I do want to talk about some of the bugs that they want to bash. There's a kind of an issue here. It says here error codes. Destiny player support is investigating increases in connection-based error codes, including Beaver, Anteater, and Rabbit, with priority set to Newt and Watercress errors. First of all, I've never seen a Newt or Watercress error. I don't know why they're putting a priority on a Watercress error that I've never even heard of. People don't make Steam names called Beavered Again because it's the last place frickin' error code. I get beavered every frickin' day. It's actually why I get frustrated, sometimes turn the computer off and go play this game on my PlayStation 4. But that's kind of how I wanted to end that rant. I want to move on to some other twabs, though. Hackers, anti-cheat, core class balance, and more, they've all been discussed by the team. So, much of this won't matter until we see their discussion turn into action. So I don't really want to get too much into it. Many hope that Year 4 is going to include a paywall that requires either the expansion or season pass to be purchased in order to participate in Gambit or Crucible activities. And it's just because we talked about yesterday, you have to be able to paywall some of these hackers out so they don't just recycle all these pre-generated accounts over and over and over and over again, you know, and live out their ban on account 1, play on account 2. When 2 gets banned, they go on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 1's ban's lifted, so they start the cycle all over with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth again. That's really just kind of, again, I don't want to get too hyped up about what they're planning to do with all this until we actually see this discussion turn to action. I know they want to do something about it, and I applaud them actually giving a shit, but we need to see some action for Bungie on that one. But now I want to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. It's Gambit. It's pretty much my favorite thing about the game. Thematically, it's the coolest thing I've ever been a part of outside of the Star Wars universe. So, let's talk about how we can improve Gambit. For those who aren't familiar with the PvEVP thing that's Gambit, it's you run around an arena, you're shooting NPCs, basically a race against another team of 4 players who are doing the same thing. Every once in a while, you can invade the other side, kill players, and kind of spoil their fun. And your goal is to spawn this primeval boss at the end and be the first one to kill it. And you earn a reputation type thing called infamy, and really cool kind of outlaw-themed weapons and armor. It's got a very Wild West kind of motif to it. It's awesome. I fucking love the shit out of it. So how do we improve Gambit? You know, outside of certain exotic weapons dominating the field in regular Gambit, the vanilla mode isn't really in the worst place. And I rarely find myself wanting to pull my hair out, except when I'm matched up against subpar teammates. That's a human factor, not a design one, and that's an important distinction when discussing balance in a PvEVP mode. Gambit Prime, however, is in sort of a fatigued situation. When matches aren't plagued by hackers, they're dominated and pitched in favor of coordinated teams or ace players wearing full Gambit Prime sets. And thanks to seasonal mods and the reworking of mods in Armor 2.0, this has actually presented new problems that greatly exacerbate the imbalance of infiltrator builds against vanilla builds, or people who are using mere +3s for, you know, when they pop a sim. And it's fatigued because the vanilla players are as equally frustrated with the full set players being excruciatingly overpowered against them, and that the few people still attempting to play Reckoning are often a bunch of fucking potatoes that can't get halfway down the bridge. Face it, being able to lock down a bank, generate free ammo and kills, buff your team in the Well of Light or near your bank, and mark and debuff powerful enemies is actually kind of a big deal. That's why these sets, especially when you can use them with seasonal mods, kind of creates this massive balance problem, especially in Gambit Prime. You don't see this problem in regular Gambit. So, you have seasonal mod-powered Gambit sets creating a massive balance gap between the haves and have-nots. I've been in games where the systemic malaise drags the fun down to a whole whopping 0, and people quickly flee for greener pastures. I'm sure many of you have seen this too. So how do we fix this? There's 2 ways we can do it. We can disable seasonal mods on Gambit Prime Armor. Pretty sure that's less appealing, and I heard everyone go, ooh, or as the Drifter says, ooh. Convert these armor sets into universal ornaments that also work on exotic armor, damn it. I would love to be able to look at my regular armor on an exotic piece of armor. Even if that exotic piece of armor looks cool, I would love to be able to kind of ornamentize, if that's even a word, my exotic armor to look like a full theme set. And then you can redeem the functional armor into mod pieces that cost as much energy as they grant in score for your Gambit Prime bonuses, 1, 2, and 3 respectively, so that they have to be used and weighed against your other mods, including seasonal mods. So with that out of the way, let's discuss my vision for the ultimate version of Gambit. And I want to talk about a mode that I call Gambit Edge. I don't know, nor do I care what Bungie would call it, but I'm calling it Black Edge because I'm naming it after where Callus allegedly met the darkness. Gambit Edge is the penultimate expression of the in-game experience behind actually facing down the darkness in a full team raid in Year 4 and beyond. Rules of Gambit Prime are in play, and it's still one round, but now the reinforcements will include champions that will drain your bank if they get too close to it. Primeval envoys are now overload champions, and win-loss is going to start mattering. Streaks multiply infamy earned, and losses on 0 streaks earn you no infamy outside of your bounty completions. Speaking of bounties, so that we don't get bounty fatigue, bounties now target activity-specific tasks. So modes banked, blockers killed, blockers sent, invasions performed, enemy players defeated, envoys killed, primevals killed, etc., rather than class or weapon tasks. People are tired of that shit. You got frickin' gunsmith bounties for that kind of stuff. Rewards include high impact scout, adaptive hand cannon, rapid fire sidearm, precision frame pulse rifle, rapid fire auto rifle, lightweight SMG. These archetypes, correct me if I'm wrong, don't currently exist from the Gambit sets. And how about a pinnacle sniper rifle for Gambit this year? You know, wouldn't that be kind of cool? And maybe a Gambit themed exotic submachine gun? And of course, Luke Smith already talked about this. New armor set for each class. There's gonna be new Gambit armor. We already know that's coming. So that's kind of, that's kind of a non-starter there on my topic here. But these are just some ideas I have to advance Gambit to keep up with the new content that's already in the game and offer something new to play. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So this has been my 2-part Destiny 2 Year 3 midterm. If you liked what you watched, please feel free to let me know. I'm going to do my best to get back to a routine of doing videos again for you all. My computer hasn't been the most cooperative recently, and I'm in dire need of some hardware improvements across the board to improve the experience I am able to provide you all. Because right now, I'm missing the frickin' sock for my mic, which is definitely distorting the sound. I could definitely use a better webcam if people who want to just see me rather than just gameplay and screenshots. Current goals are going to be listed each week in the video descriptions below, and every Patreon donation and subscription gets me closer to each goal. So if y'all want me to improve my shit, every little bit helps. I still work full-time and an essential employee, and the people living in the house with me don't, they're getting paid, but they're working from home, and I could use a little help. Don't want to sound like I got my hand out, but you know what? Time isn't free, and I know how people are starting to feel with this kind of stuff, especially for those who've actually lost their jobs and don't have an income. But again, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for some Doom Eternal discussion in my next video, and I'm going to be doing a Twitch streamer overview of my buddy Full Metal Boxers coming up soon. We'll now close this out with a Gamer Gab of the Week. So why does Cloud Strife use a 6-foot sword? So he can kick some Shinra ass while maintaining some social distancing. Look, folks, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Tune in next time. Keep quick drawing and slack jawing. Outlaw Lotus,